everybody, a very good evening and a very warm welcome to yet another super curious, super amazing and a very interesting topic and episode of Curious Minds with me Pritesh, your host, your host and a proud educator from Embibe, welcoming you. I meet you every day from Monday to Friday at 5:30 live with yet another very interesting topics under the series called Curious Minds, where we talk about so many things under the planet which are very informative and which are also very important from your everyday point of view. It also gives you a lot of information and it gives you an added advantage when it comes to striking a conversation, because here we talk about so many topics which are from your textbook, beyond your textbook, general knowledge. We talk about history to geography to biology, chemistry, physics, we talk about automobiles and engineering and whatnot. And today I have come for you with a very interesting topic called what is the difference between cold and flu. There is a kind of a virus going around which is not obviously the coronavirus, but it is kind of a virus which gives you all the symptoms of a flu, but they are a little different. So what exactly is the difference between common cold and flu, and also we'll be doing some questions as well. So welcome once again to this amazing episode of Curious Minds today. Make sure that you visit the Embibe page, which gives you unlimited free learning access to test, assignment, study material, question, solution, explanation to solution, books, reference books, NCRTs, and that too of any board, any grade, any subject, and that too in any language, completely free of cost. So make sure that you visit the Embibe page and you download the Embibe app, which is freely available on Google Store and Apple Store. Do connect with us on Telegram by scanning the QR code as well, so that you stay updated on whatever is happening on the channel. Okay? And now let's talk about cold versus flu. Okay? Let me also tell you that till date there is no vaccine against common cold, because let's find out why. So common cold happens because of a viral infection in the upper respiratory tract, that is the nose and the throat. Rhinoviruses, human parainfluenza viruses and seasonal coronaviruses are just a few of the viruses that can cause common cold. Basically, there are more than 200 types of virus that can cause common cold. It can also happen because of any kind of an allergy. Like cold is also a repercussion of some kind of an allergy, like if you're allergic to pollen, or if you're allergic to dust, or if you're allergic to certain kind of foods, then too you can develop a cold. So that is why there is no vaccine against common cold, because it happens because of so many different types of viruses, right? अगर एक कोई particular pathogen है तो हम उसका vaccine बना सकते हैं, but यहाँ पर we have got a range of viruses who can cause common cold, what can cause common cold, and that is why there is no vaccine for it yet. But when I talk about influenza, so this is the amazing influenza virus that you can see. Seasonal influenza is an acute respiratory infection and infects nose, throat as well as lungs. It is caused by influenza viruses which circulate in all parts of the world. There are 4 types of seasonal influenza virus, type A, B, C and D. So there are 4 types of viruses which cause influenza. So influenza and cold में क्या difference है? Let's find out. Basically, when I talk about the types of influenza viruses, so we have got virus A and B which cause the seasonal epidemic of disease in people, also known as the flu season. Influenza A are the only influenza virus known to cause flu pandemic. Pandemic means it will affect the entire globe. C virus infection generally cause mild illness and are not thought to cause human epidemics. D virus primarily affect cattle and are not known to infect or cause illness in people. So the influenza D virus, it only affects cattle, it does not affect humans, right? Like coronavirus only affects humans, it does not affect animals. Similarly, the influenza D virus, it only affects cattle and does not affect humans. Now, what is common cold or flu? The symptoms of flu include fever or feeling feverish, cough, sore throat, runny or stuffy nose, muscle or body aches, headache and fatigue. Cold symptoms are usually milder as compared to the flu. People with cold are more likely to have a runny or stuffy nose. Cold generally does not result in serious health problems. So, my great granny used to say that cold has got 3 stages. So cold, no, it starts going off in 3 days. First day is the beginning of the cold. Second day it goes at its peak, and third day it starts receding. So if you have got cold, 3 days ke baad you can start feeling better. I hate when the nose is blocked. So, any kind of pain or fever, you can still rest and you can get better. But cold, oh my God, it's so irritating because your nose gets blocked. You can't breathe. You can't sleep. You have to sleep with your mouth open to breathe. And, constantly there is mucus and phlegm that is coming out, and it's so irritating. So, headache, sinusitis, cough, chills, painful conditions, and fever. So, cold gives you a little bit of very, very mild symptoms, and cold is it cures on its own also within, like, say, maximum 5 days to a week. It will cure on its own. And if you are taking medicines, 3 days में 3 days तो cold रहता ही है. No matter how many medicines you take, it will be there for 3 days at least. Then, what is the difference between the symptoms of cold and flu? So, cold will slowly start, influenza will start suddenly. Fever will somewhere be around 100 °F up to 3 to 4 days, whereas in cold the fever is very, very less. As we discussed, the symptoms are quite mild. The cough is common in influenza, it is mild to moderate in cold. Headache is quite prominent, it's rare in cold. There's muscle pain, very, very severe, where it is a mild muscle pain, or even not, you might not have any kind of muscle pain. There is a lot of tiredness and weakness in influenza. In cold, you have sometimes tiredness and weakness. Stuffy nose is sometimes, stuffiness is common. Sneezing is sometimes, sneezing is common. Sore throat is sometimes, no, sore throat is common. So these are the symptoms of influenza and cold. Just quickly have a look and then we'll move ahead. I've also got some beautiful questions for you today. So just have a look and then we'll move ahead. Okay. And now, how can you prevent? So the best is you keep the virus away. So I think we all know the pandemic, that is the lockdown, taught us how to stay away from viruses. So you have to drink lots of water. Make sure that you have sanitized your hands and you're not touching your mouth or your eyes or nose. You treat the services. Wear a mask, wash hands with soap, and cover your mouth or nose. Especially if somebody in the house is having a cold, please be away from them, because if one person gets cold in the house, the entire family gets it, because you are in the same vicinity. So you have to be careful that you do not get the virus in your body. Okay? Then, so here's a quiz question. What is the causative agent of influenza? Is it a virus, a bacteria, or protozoa? What is the causative agent of influenza? The hint tells us that it's something similar that affects your computer also. So what affects a computer? A virus, a bacteria, or a protozoa? Interesting question, very easy. The answer will be definitely the virus, right? The virus is something that causes influenza. There are 4 types of viruses, whereas the D virus does not affect humans, it only affects cattle. Next one, drag and drop the right symptoms into the spaces near the influenza virus. Oh, that's interesting. So influenza virus के क्या-क्या symptoms है? Let us look at the hint first. They are similar to the common cold. So I think सोर थ्रोट हो सकता है, डिहाइड्रेशन हो सकता है, हेडेक हो सकता है, कॉफिंग भी हो सकता है, राइट? आई डोंट थिंक रैशेस, हाई फीवर एंड वॉमिटिंग इज समथिंग दैट हैपेंस ड्यूरिंग इन्फ्लुएंजा. ठीक है, लेट्स सी वेदर वी आर राइट और रॉन्ग इन दिस द ब्यूटिफुल इन्फ्लुएंजा वायरस. एंड नो, वी आर नॉट राइट. So the one that we missed was high fever. So high fever is something which is very prominent in influenza, but it is not during cold. And yeah, so dehydration नहीं होता है cold में. But interesting, that was very, very interesting. चलिए. So the symptoms of influenza are headache, coughing, sore throat, and high fever. ठीक है? चलिए. The last question. Select the image you think contains the pathogen that causes common cold. So who contains the pathogen that causes common cold? Is it the mushroom? The hint is antibiotics won't treat common cold. Okay. So select the image that you think it contains the pathogen. Is it the mushroom, the virus, the bacteria, or a parasitic worm? Which of these can cause common cold? Interesting. So when I talk about fungi is responsible for problems like ringworm, right? Virus is responsible for HIV and COVID-19 and influenza and common cold and whatnot. Bacteria is responsible for cholera, typhoid, TB, and parasitic worm can cause food poisoning. Okay? So the answer definitely for this one is virus. Let me see. Okay. And yeah, we are right. So that's amazing. So that was that common cold is definitely caused by a virus. So today in Curious Minds, we learned that what exactly is common cold, what exactly is influenza, what is the difference between the two, what are the different symptoms, and how can you prevent it. How do you treat it is that you have to, you have to visit a doctor and the doctor will prescribe you medicines. Mostly, they prescribe amoxicillin if the cold is very severe and all. But yeah, again, it depends on the doctor, what the doctor prescribes. So that was all about common cold versus flu, and I'll be seeing you again tomorrow at 5:30 with yet another beautiful, amazing and interesting topic of Curious Minds. And until we meet next, guys, this is Pritesh, your host, your dose, and a proud educator from Embibe, signing off for now. Take care of yourself, stay healthy, stay happy, stay blessed, and do not forget to keep imbibing. We believe in you.
Keep imbibing. We believe in you.